Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Conversation. I am Nikki Csek, your host, and I'm super excited to have Josie Ruoss, or Josie, in studio with us. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Nice to be here.
So you are with Next Step Counseling.
Yes, I just joined Next Step Counseling.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's exciting.
So, Josie, you have done a bit of maybe a sidestep or a meaningful step. You came from teaching, and now you're here. Can you tell us a little bit of your why?
Yeah, the why and the journey. I got into teaching initially because my mother was a teacher, my grandparents were teachers, so it was very much something that I saw value in growing up, and I had a great connection to the teachers I had. When I graduated from Teachers College, I kind of started to feel like something was a little bit missing. There's a lot of components that I loved in teaching, and that was connecting with students and connecting with parents and other teachers and talking about life, the problems that come up with life, and how do we kind of learn and navigate those. And I began to find more and more that I really wanted to help students kind of address more issues with their mental health, because I saw really the impact and how that can affect your learning and really affect your ability to contribute to society eventually. And I began to kind of see that that was really kind of the biggest part of growing up, is having a good relationship with yourself and good mental health. So then I decided to kind of make the step and do some more learning myself and complete my Master's of Counseling. And I'm loving it so far. It's been such a great journey.
Recent graduate?
Yeah, I graduated just this kind of May.
Okay.
I completed my internship at Third Space Charity, which was fantastic. And I got to work with a lot of people aged 18 to 29.
Okay.
So I got a lot more experience with adults. And it's been kind of a coming home for me. It's felt like such a great career to step into, and I'm very excited about it.
So you get to take all of your learnings from your studies to be a teacher, and you get to apply those into giving kids or our youth tools to be able to manage this thing called life.
Yes, this thing called life, this messy thing called life. And not just kids too. I really enjoy like working with families as a whole and with parents, because I think our relationships with each other totally affects our relationship with ourselves. And then that's something that's so important as well.
Absolutely. So, Can you demystify for us the process of seeking out a counselor, or taking that step, or maybe recognizing when it might be a good idea just to check in?
Yeah, you know what? There is never a bad time to speak to a counselor or to look for counseling, I personally think. I would say the biggest important factor that people need to consider is it's important to find a counselor that you have rapport with. And that means that you feel like a safe, trusting connection. And that may mean you might have to speak to a couple different counselors. And most counselors offer free initial chats just like this, so that you can kind of talk to them, ask any questions that you have, and understand their approach. And how they would help you kind of solve the issue you're hoping to work on. But it's really important in that initial chat that you start to feel comfortable, relaxed, and that you can open up to them.
And I think that's a big part of advocating for yourself. So be brave, set some appointments. There's no specific number.
Yeah.
But set some appointments, do some initial consultations, and see if, or check in with yourself and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Counselors will accept you however ready you are for counseling, and they're there to walk you through that process. Just like shopping, like if someone may walk by a store a couple different times before they decide to go into the store.
Very true.
And then it may take a couple of times of you trying on an outfit until you buy something that you really like. That's for you. And that's okay. Counselors understand that you may say no to them and try someone else out. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you advocate for yourself.
That's so good. So, Josie, you said something to me at the beginning before we went on air, and it was around therapy can be more than words. And I found that interesting. So you're hosting an event. Wonder if you can tell us about the event and what the inspiration was for this.
Yeah. So a big part of my personal life is art, and art has been something very important for me for a long time. And I've been able to integrate that into my work as a teacher and now my work as a counselor, because I know how important it is for us to express ourselves. Right now, we are organizing an event through Studio on Water, which is an art studio downtown. We're going to be hosting a grief counseling group through therapeutic art, where we're going to create some journals and go through some prompts together as a group around the topic of grief as it relates to not just death, but change can bring up feelings of grief or other changes and losses in life.
That's fascinating. So it's grief, change, and loss. And it is September. There's a few sessions. So is it one session in the group and then you're done, or is it multiple? I see multiple dates here.
Yeah, so we're going to have 4 sessions together starting on September 25th, and then we're going to meet every Wednesday at 6 to about 7:30 for that 4 sessions. So we end on October 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to find information on this particular grief, change, and loss art therapeutic 4-session program, you can go to studioonwater.com to register. Any other piece of advice you would give anyone? And I'm gonna tee you up a little bit. So it's interesting to me that you chose a different career. So again, the apples usually fall very, very close to the tree. Of course, you traveled through teaching because it was sort of the way. But I'd like to know if that particular change in your career path was viewed by your parents or grandparents as a loss, because that's a change, and how you navigated through that.
That's a really great question. I think there's definitely parts of myself that had to change and acknowledge that I had strengths in other places that were more conducive to counseling than maybe it was in a classroom full of 30 people. And for me, that was, okay, maybe I'm better connecting at people one-on-one. Not to say that I didn't love the chaos of teaching, but I think my family very much as teachers understood that it's really important to find where your heart leads you and takes you. And I think that's something that teachers always encourage in people and inspire people to be. So the transition was very easy for me. But my advice to other people who are maybe having more difficulty in that transition due to maybe like family expectations or expectations on yourself, I would just say acknowledge that that can be really difficult, but it does not mean that it's not worth it and that you're not deserving of following your heart and maybe trying something new. I think that we only get so much time in this life to get to try out different things, and we're always evolving. So you need to go where your heart takes you, and it's okay to change your mind. You you're allowed to change your mind at whatever point you would like. So
absolutely wonderful, wonderful advice. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us, Josie. And I encourage whoever has listened to us and feels connected to you to reach out and get together and see what you can do to help them along their journey of life.
thank you.